Welcome back to the Sean McDermott Show. Steve Tasker once again joined to chop some wood with Eric Wood, the analyst for the radio broadcast. Eric, tough matchup. You knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. Came down to a single possession at the end, but the Baltimore Ravens really showed why they may be the best team in the National Football League.
Yeah, they're now on a 9-game winning streak, and they're playing incredible football. Likely the MVP of the NFL playing quarterback for them. The encouraging thing is the Bills' defense played great. The offense unable to hit some of those shots down the field against all those cover zero blitz looks by the Ravens. But you got to like the Bills' progression this season, getting better and better, and you play down to the wire. Likely the best team in the National Football League right now.
Yeah, you talk about that Bills defense putting it together such a great effort. It starts really in the middle there with Tremaine Edmonds. He's made some plays throughout this season that have really been difference makers, and another one showed up in the game against Baltimore.
Yeah, it did. And as we go to the film, Tremaine has been great in coverage all year. He's great against the run. And here, this is a look that Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier will often use. 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. And they utilize this a number of times against the empty sets of the Baltimore Ravens. And on this play, Tremaine Edmonds is coming on a pressure. Well, as he gets blocked, he simply retreats because he's not going to get home, but he occupies the blocker. He then gets into the passing lane, and the ball is tipped up, and because he didn't just continue to aimlessly rush, he's able to get back, and after the ball is tipped up in the air, he makes the interception. Huge play in the game for the Bills.
Tremaine Edmonds at Virginia Tech, he played with his hand on the ground, and now he's a stand-up middle linebacker here in the NFL, and really shows up in pass coverage as much as anything because of his range and athleticism.
Yeah, he's super athletic and super long. And what he's able to do, this is another 6 guys at the line of scrimmage look. We mentioned it before. Again, you see the same look, and this is a huge, crucial play in the Titans game earlier in the season. And because of his length, because of his athleticism, he's able to get into the passing lane and tip the ball away. And those pass deflections, you know, we talk about how great the Bills' pass defense is, and a lot of the credit goes to the secondary. But the Bills' defensive line and linebackers have been extremely valuable this year, getting their hands in the passing lanes.
Once they tip that ball, anything can happen because defenders are kind of aware of it and receivers are not. Now, flipping over to the Bills' next opponent, it's Pittsburgh Steelers, and they lead the NFL with 33 takeaways, thanks in part to a guy they got midway through the season, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
5 interceptions on the season, 2 touchdowns, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, that stat line's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then here we get a chance to look at the long pick 6, and this is a kind of play when you take points off the board for your opponent and put them on for your team, it's hard to bounce back if you're the Indianapolis Colts from a play like this.
Absolutely, and one guy I want to talk about, and you don't often see it, but Quentin Nelson, one of my favorite players to watch in the NFL for the Colts. I know this is a Minkah Fitzpatrick highlight, but I like my man hustling, 56. He got no shot at catching it, but you know what? I'm going to lay out 92. And the next time we get on the field, he's going to remember that. I like that. But getting back to Minkah Fitzpatrick, good players, the ball seems to find their hands. And here you see Minkah Fitzpatrick getting an interception off of tip ball. And these are huge plays. And for a Steelers team that is without Ben Roethlisberger, well, now they're getting it done with their defense again. And Minkah Fitzpatrick is making a lot of plays for them.
Minkah Fitzpatrick coming out of Alabama, so many of those guys have the high football IQ that, you know, they just play to the end of the play. And this scoop and score right here is an example of that. Minkah Fitzpatrick always around the ball hawking safety. When the ball's loose and on the ground, he always seems to be in the vicinity. And this time, it turns into a scoop and score, as this was ruled a fumble and upheld in replay.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, 2 touchdowns on the year, and this one is a play where he's just out hustling people. He's going towards the ball, and a lot of people stopped in this play, and he ends up with a touchdown. And like we said, when you have so many injuries on offense, for them to be leading the league in forced turnovers, that is absolutely huge for this team, and it sets up this huge Sunday Night Football matchup that we have coming up this week.
Yep, Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills in Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. It's going to be quite a scene, prime time in Pittsburgh. It's always a difficult matchup. Good luck with that broadcast. It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it will be. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.